As I wake up in the simulation, I feel the more I experience this third dimension, the more I forget about the fourth dimension. Soon I forgot all about the fourth dimension and started believing in this third-dimensional simulation reality. Whenever I would go to sleep and have a dream, it felt like I was back in the fourth dimension. Even though I knew I was only rebooting, dreams are meant to be seen as irrelevant in this dimension. Everything is meant to seem the complete opposite in this reality. I guess that was part of the illusion. This was to make me get used to a certain type of setting, then once I enter a new dimension I would feel lost and unfamiliar with the surrounding. As a human simulation, I was beginning to forget about the fourth dimension and started believing in this third-dimensional reality as if it was a true reality. The longer I dwell in this realm, the more dependent I begin to feel. It feels as though I need to depend on everything.
The thing about this simulation is that each DNA has been uploaded multiple times in the same module, which means that generation ago our hero has been in the simulation before. Upload with the same DNA strand passed down through the reproductive system process. The thing is, the wiser you get intellectually, the more conscious seems to gravitate towards you.
Somehow I kept most of my morals as I grew up. I always felt like there was something watching me from a different dimension and observing my intellect, but I wasn't sure. The physicalities of this dimension became reality to me. Suddenly non-physical seemed like something that isn't real. Whenever I would imagine the fourth dimension, it would just seem weird. In the first year I began to recognize my direct relatives. They were always around. I had a mom, a dad, and 2 older sisters. I had both of my grandmas. I had an uncle, my mom's brother, and his wife, who have 2 kids who are my cousins. In the second year I began this terrorizing phase. See, that's the year I realized that my family's bloodline had a rare DNA genetic code on my father's side. I've heard stories of how my family has always had that one person in every few generations to have the ability to manipulate vegetation growth that includes any form of plants, and that person would usually end up saving the entire family, somehow. I must have heard those stories over 1,000,000 different times growing up. The third year I became better with the abilities to use my hands and legs properly. Before I was just wobbling everywhere. Now I am actually choosing how I want to walk, stand or run with precision. I became more intellectually driven and well-spoken. The only thing I've ever wished for was to be the next one in our family to have the ability to grow plants. I felt like I wanted to do the impossible. The fourth year I was reading books and learning things my dad would teach me in games and trivias. Every time he spoke he would say, "Hey, let's play a learning game." My mom was always trying to make me learn numbers for some reason. She would always show me new techniques to counting and solving problems. The fifth year my oldest sister Daisy turned 15. It was said that once you turn 15 you should know if you have the abilities or not. Once I found out that Daisy wasn't the chosen one, I admit that I was briefly excited. Now I wonder if my other sister Rose might obtain the special abilities.